We first start. Now there are two ways in which we can create an assembly. We can start by here. When we first open SolidWorks, under the new drop down, click the drop down, click on new, then you click on assembly. Then the menu will open for us to select our fixed part, which is the part in which everything else will be built around. Or we close this, open the part ourselves, which is part 1 in SolidWorks. Then once we've opened the part, we go to the new drop down, we click on it, then we click on make assembly from part or assembly, and then we click on that. Here it already selects our parts for us, so all we need to do is just place it, and it appears like that. So now we are going to use the first one. Under SolidWorks, click on new, then assembly. When the menu opens, we then select the part. Here we are going to be using part 1. Click on open. Then without clicking, we go to view, hide or show, then origins. Then we click on origins, and it brings the origin. It shows the origin. Click on begin assembly, so that we do not click on the screen or on the space, so that it doesn't insert the part. When we click on the begin assembly, we still have control over the part. Then place our cursor on the origin. You should see the cursor has changed. The cursor symbol has changed. Some origin symbol has appeared beneath it. We then click on the origin and to fix our part to the origin. After we're done, we go back to view, hide or show, and we click on the origin to remove it. Now the question that was given in the exam told us to create a table. So the next thing we do is we insert the other leg of the table or the stand. To insert another part, you go to insert components, click on it, and this menu opens. Now it's telling us to look for the part we want to insert. Here is part 1, so we click on it. If this menu doesn't open for you, you can come here to browse, and then to open the menu for you itself. You look for where your part is and click on open. Now when you click on open, our part has appeared. What you need to do is you need to look at the assembly you are trying to create and then position each part at a appropriate position, so that it makes the mating easier. You don't want to position it here when you're mating, or to the right, or somewhere like here. When you look at the finished assembly of the table, you want to position it around here. So then we click to insert, then it's insert. Now we've inserted our parts. You realize that the first part, our foundation part, is fixed, and a message comes and says it cannot be moved. But the second part we inserted is not fixed and it can move. Now what we need to do is that we need to make this part fixed, and we are going to do that by creating things, by using relations called references, mate references, to align this part with our fixed part, so that this also becomes fixed. Now we are going to change the view, and here at the toolbar tab under view orientation, click the drop down, then we click on this icon, the front view icon, then click on it. Now you realize that we can move our part which is not fixed in any direction, but we do not want it so. So in order for us to sort that, we click on this face, hold Control, then you click on this face. Now if you've selected it correctly, the faces should be highlighted blue. You then go to mate, Now when you click on mate, it automatically selects the coincident mate. Then we click the tick. What you realize is that in this view you may not see it correctly, but it keeps this is like pushing this face and this face towards a wall. This face will not be able to move to the right of this face. They'll have the same alignment. Now you see it in the isometric view, you do not see it properly, but you see it better. You see it better when we go to view orientation and we go to front view. You see that at first we could move it right and left, but now we cannot move it right and left. You look at my cursor, you see that I'm moving it to the right and to the left, but it isn't working because this face, let me change the view, this face and this face is as if they have been pushed to a wall, like they can't move any further, so they are both sliding on the wall. That's why we can still move this forward and backwards. In this view it looks as if it's not restricted, but obviously when you come to the front view you will see it that this face, this side where I've highlighted, cannot move to the left of this face. It's like they are aligned together, and that is what we want. The next thing we want to do, if you realize, let me go back to the front view, you realize that even though we can't move to the right and left, we can still move up and down. Now what we want to do is that we want to put these two faces on the same plane. It's like taking a lid and putting it over the two, the two stands, so that one cannot go above the other. They are both on the same height, if you understand what I'm saying. So to do that, we use the same coincident mate. We will select this face, then we will select this face, we click on mate, then you do not need to click on coincident. Coincident is the default mate, it automatically selects it for you. Then we click the tick. Now what has happened is that it's as if a lid has been placed on the two stands, so that one cannot be raised higher than the other one. So once again we go to our front view, then we realize that we can no longer raise it up and down. Next, we still realize that we can still move this. We can still move our this stand closer to our fixed stand and further from it. You can still move it. Now, if you want it to be fully fixed or fully defined, what to do is we need to set a distance in which the distance from this stand to this stand is as if we are planting this stand into the ground, so it can't move any further. In order to do that, I'm changing the view a little bit. Come here, we select this line. You can do it many ways, but from the question and the exam, it was best for you to select this line and this line. Then we click on mate. Now once again it selects the default mate, which is coincident, but you come here to this icon, which is a distance icon. You click on it, and then we type a distance of 50. Our unit system is IPS, so it will be 50 inches. Then we click the tick. What you realize is that now, what does it say? It says that our component is now fully defined, it cannot be moved, which means it's fixed. Now it's as if we've taken this stand and we've planted it into the ground, so it's like it can no longer move. So that's how now we've used mates to fully define our second stand using our first stand. So this is to try and help you understand how to use mate references in order to create an assembly. Now if the question said, well, we should assemble the table, but we should allow the stand, our stand which is not fixed, to be able to move forward and backwards. all we need to do is that we need to make sure there's no distance mate. Come here, right click delete, there's no distance mate, and then our stand will be able to move forward and backwards. If it said it should not be able to move, it should be able to move upwards and downwards, then that means, sorry, right click delete, that means the only mate that we will be having is this, and then it can move upwards and downwards. In the exam, the next step was to add